this evening is the match between Manchester City and Arsenal. Arsenal will take on Manchester City in the final of the 2025-2026 CARABAO Cup. That's the English Football League, EFL Cup. Is happening at the Wembley Stadium. It's the Wembley Showdown tonight. Arsenal and Manchester City. What a match is going to be. I mean, these two, they are the top two teams presently in the Premier League, because in the Premier League right now, Arsenal top the group. They are 9 points ahead of Manchester City. Manchester City are second. So this is a clash between the top two teams in the Premier League, and this is the first time in the history of the Carabao Cup that the top two teams on the Premier League table will be meeting each other in the final. This is the first time the top two teams will be playing each other in the final, and what a blockbuster match is going to be. One trophy online, one match, a trophy online, and 90 minutes of football or more than that to be played tonight at the Wembley Stadium. And what a match. It's going to be a tactical battle between two intelligent coaches, talking about Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is the current coach of Manchester City, and then Mikel Arteta used to be his assistant manager. So it's going to be a tactical battle between these two coaches. For Pep Guardiola, he has won the laurels. He has the laurels to show for. I mean, he has won, I don't want to use the word he has won it all, but he's really, really an experienced coach. I mean, he's really experienced. And for Mikel Arteta, he's really doing a good job with Arsenal, rebuilding the team. And Arsenal this season have been in a fantastic form. Arsenal have been composed, they've been disciplined, they've been clinical, they've been scoring goals. And then they are really brilliant. They've been brilliant with set pieces, in transitions, they've been quick, and they've been fantastic. And then what a match we have tonight. And for Manchester City as well, they've been clinical too, scoring goals, scoring beautiful goals as well. And then for Arsenal, in their last 5 matches, they've remained unbeaten in their last 5 matches. They've won 4 and drawn 1 of their last 5 matches, while Manchester City have recorded 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. So what a match we have today at the Wembley Stadium. I mean, the last time these two teams played against each other was in the final of the 2018 edition. That's the final of the 2018 Carabao Cup, where Manchester City defeated Arsenal by 3-0. But then we have a much more improved Arsenal side. This season, Arsenal have been fantastic. They've been scoring goals. Defensively, they've been solid. I mean, they are really redefining the game in terms of their brilliance. Set pieces, they've been breathtaking. On transitions, they've been superb. So Arsenal, this is a different Arsenal team. And we are looking forward to a very great match tonight. What a blockbuster is going to be between these two teams tonight. Talking about current form, Arsenal won their last match. They defeated Bayer Leverkusen 2-0 in the second leg of the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. And as a result, they are through in the second leg of the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. So we have a match today. Talking about Arsenal, Arsenal have won the Carabao Cup 2 times. They won it 2 times. They won it in 1987 and 1993. So they have won it 2 times. And in 1987, they defeated Liverpool in the final to win it. They defeated Liverpool in the final. And in 1993, they defeated Sheffield United in the final. So they have won it 2 times. For Manchester City, they've won it 8 times. I mean, Manchester City have won it 8 times. And the last time Manchester City won the Carabao Cup was in 2021. That was 5 years ago, in 2021, where they defeated Tottenham by 1-0 in the final. And so they've won it 8 times. In terms of winning this Carabao Cup, Manchester City has been fantastic. They are second to Liverpool. Liverpool have won it the most times. Liverpool have won the Carabao Cup 10 times, and the most times in the history of the English Football League. While Manchester City are second to them. Manchester City have won it 8 times. Let me just read out the times Manchester City have won the Carabao Cup. They won it in 1970. They won it in 1976. They won it in 2014, they won it in 2016, in 2018, in 2019, in 2020, and in 2021. And talking about Manchester City, they are now going for a treble. I mean, because the Champions League is out of it now. So they have the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup that they are playing tonight, and let's see what happens in the Premier League. So they have that to compete for. But for Arsenal, they are going for the quadruple. Sorry, beg your pardon. They are going for their 4th I mean, they're going for 4 titles this season. Anyway, that's talking about Arsenal. I mean, they are still in contention in the Champions League. They are still there in the Premier League. Of course, they top the Premier League table with 9 points margin, with a 9 points margin. In the Champions League, they are still there. In the FA Cup as well, they are still there to play the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. That will be in 2 weeks' time. And then, of course, this night, they are playing the Carabao Cup. So they are going for 4 titles this season. And if they win tonight, that will be the first time they'll be winning a major title in a long time. That's talking about Arsenal. But when we are talking about Arsenal and the Premier League this season, they are 5 wins away from winning the Premier League. Arsenal, they are 5 wins away from winning the Premier League. So they've won the Carabao Cup 2 times, while Manchester City have won the Carabao Cup 8 times. And then once again, Manchester City have won the Carabao Cup in 1970, 1976, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. So two giants clash tonight. 2 giants of English football. One trophy on the line. That is the Carabao Cup. That's the first major trophy to be won in England this season. I mean, the Carabao Cup is the first major trophy to be won in England. The Premier League is still there. I mean, yet to be concluded. I mean, and then we still have the FA Cup. But for the Carabao Cup, this is the final and is the first major trophy to be won tonight by either Arsenal or Manchester City. And then I was analyzing the Arsenal team earlier. I said this season they've been so composed, they've been disciplined, and they've been clinical. I mean, they've scored goals, and as well they've been solid defensively. That's talking about composure. Defensively, they've been very solid at the back. Like they are nearly impenetrable. Like they've really been solid at the back. That's talking about the Gunners. And then in terms of transitions, they've been quick. In fact, they've really played delightful football. And in terms of set pieces, they've been fantastic. And when it comes to Manchester City have scored goals too. They've been brilliant scoring goals. They've been clinical as well. In the Carabao Cup, they've been clinical. They are out of the Champions League. In the Premier League too, they've been scoring goals. That's talking about Man City, although they presently trail Arsenal by 9 points. But then they've also been fantastic scoring goals. And talking about the battle of coaches, talking about the tactical battle between Mikel Arteta, the coach of Arsenal, and Pep Guardiola. I mean, before the narrative used to be that how will I say it now? Okay, the coach taking on his assistant, a coach taking on his former assistant. But as it is now, I mean, we've really seen that Mikel Arteta has really transformed the Arsenal squad. He has really transformed the Arsenal squad, but it's still the battle of a coach and his former assistant. That's talking about Pep Guardiola, a high-quality match. And then looking at the players to watch out for, we've got them. Like looking at Manchester City. Looking at Manchester City, Erling Haaland this season has scored 30 goals for Man City across all competitions. He has scored the goals for them across all competitions. Gyökeres too has scored 16 goals for Arsenal across all competitions. And one thing about this Arsenal team in this Carabao Cup is that they have different scorers for them. I'm going to reel out the goal scorers now. They have different players who have scored for them in this Carabao Cup. And then the last time Arsenal and Manchester City played against each other in the Carabao Cup was in 2018. That was 6 years ago. Okay, sorry, that was 8 years ago. It was in 2016, and it was Manchester City that won that match. They won by 3-0 in the final of the Carabao Cup. But then this is going to be a different ball game, because you are looking at Arsenal, who are really in a very good form in terms of the Premier League. They really top the Premier League. And then we are looking at Manchester City, who really want to prove themselves, especially after exiting the Champions League. I mean, after leaving the Champions League, they really need this one, just to make up for their early exit in the Champions League. So what a match we have tonight, a blockbuster match indeed. The Newcastle won the last edition of the Carabao Cup. The last edition, that was the 2024-2025 edition. It was won by Newcastle. Newcastle defeated Liverpool 2-1 in the final. So they won the last edition. So as I said earlier, this is the first time in the Carabao Cup where the top 2 teams on the Premier League table will be playing in the final match. The top 2 teams, and what a match is going to be. And this match is like a precursor to another Premier League match that they will play in April, because they only met each other in the Premier League once this season, and that was September last year, where they both played a 1-1 draw at Emirates Stadium. That was September last year, this season. So we have another Premier League match, April. So this is like a precursor. Yeah, this is the final match. Yes, it's also like a precursor. So what happens in this match will really make us see what we are going to see in the other match. That's talking about their second Premier League match. So what the thrilling match is going to be. You know the anxiety that usually anticipate in a match, the excitement, the thrills, the razzmatazz, and then this one is not short of it at all. The atmosphere is really, really, we can feel it. We can really feel the atmosphere. Everything is really lit right now. We can't wait for this match already. We can't wait for the match between Arsenal and Manchester City. The match will be played by 5:30 p.m. Nigerian time at the Wembley Stadium. So as I said, Arsenal will be going for 4 titles this season, while Manchester City will be going for the treble. The Champions League is out of it now. And then Arsenal, as I said, Arsenal are 5 wins away from winning the Premier League. They just have to win 5 matches, and then they will have the Premier League title for the first time in over 20 years. And then looking at the meetings between Arsenal and Manchester City, looking at their last 6 meetings, Arsenal have remained unbeaten in those last 6 meetings. Between the two teams, they've remained unbeaten in the last 6 meetings. As a matter of fact, in the last 5 meetings between Arsenal and Manchester City, Arsenal have 2 wins, and there have been 3 draws between them in their last 5 meetings. Arsenal have 2 wins, and there have been 3 draws between them. Let me quickly read out. If you are just joining me, thank you for joining me. I'm doing the match preview of the Carabao final match between Arsenal and Manchester City. What a cracker of the match that is going to be. The match will be played by 5:30 p.m. Nigerian time. And then we have a trophy in line, a trophy to be played for, and 90 minutes or more of football to be played. And what an exciting match is going to be. Arsenal currently dominating the Premier League table. They are 70 points. They are 70 points on the Premier League table. They are 9 points ahead of Manchester City, and Manchester City are second. So this is going to be a battle, or shall I say it's going to be a clash between 2 English football giants. So I'm going to look at the head-to-head record between Man City and Arsenal. Let's just look at the last 5 matches played between the two teams. The last 5 matches. They met on September 21. That was in a Premier League match. That was the last time they met. That was last year. They met at the Emirates Stadium. The match ended in a 1-1 draw at the Emirates Stadium. They also met on February 2. That was last season, 2025, in a Premier League match where Arsenal defeated Manchester City by 5 goals to 1. That was in the 2024-2025 season. They also met on September 22. That was 2024, in a Premier League match, and it was a 2-2 draw. It was Man City 2, Arsenal 2. They also met on March 31st, 2024, in a Premier League match where they played a goalless draw. And they also met on October 8, 2023, in a Premier League match where Arsenal defeated Manchester City by 1-0. So we can see that in the last 5 meetings between the two teams, Arsenal have 2 wins and there have been 3 draws between them. So in their last 6 meetings, Arsenal have remained unbeaten. Now let's look at the goal scorers for Arsenal in this edition of the Carabao Cup. Excuse me. The goal scorers for Arsenal, we have Eberechi Eze, we have Leandro Trossard, we have Ethan Nwaneri, we have Bukayo Saka, Ben White, Vitor Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, and we have Kai Havertz. So those are the goal scorers for Arsenal in the Carabao Cup this season. So we can see that Arsenal have different goal scorers in the Carabao Cup. Different goal scorers. No particular player scored 2 goals. They had different goal scorers. Eberechi Eze, Leandro Trossard, Ethan Nwaneri, Bukayo Saka, Ben White, Vitor Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, Kai Havertz. So those are the goal scorers for Arsenal this Premier League. Then for Manchester City, look at their goal scorers. We have Phil Foden, Savio, we have Jeremy Doku, Omar Mamouche, Ryan Cherki, we have Savio, we have Antoine Semenyo, we have Ryan Cherki here, we have Omar Mamouche scoring 2 goals. Omar Mamouche scoring 3 goals. He actually scored 3 goals for Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. So Omar Mamouche is Manchester City's highest goal scorer in the Carabao Cup with 3 goals. We have Tierney Reinders also scoring. So let me read out the goal scorers for Manchester City once again. Phil Foden, Savio, Jeremy Doku, Omar Mamouche, Ryan Cherki, Savio, Antoine Semenyo, Omar Mamouche, as I said, scored 3 goals, and Tierney Reinders. So these are the goal scorers for Arsenal in the Carabao Cup this season. So welcome if you are just joining me. I'm doing the live preview of the match between Manchester City and Arsenal. And I said, if there's something Mikel Arteta has really done to this Arsenal team, he has really transformed them because they are more composed, they are more disciplined, they are clinical. In terms of set pieces, they are superb. And in terms of transitions, they are quick and they are very superb and thrilling when it comes to transitions. And also in terms of direct balls, they've really been fantastic. So Arsenal this season they've really been transformed under Mikel Arteta. And of course, Mikel Arteta has come out to say that he really needs this one. In the last 3 seasons, in the last 3 seasons, Arsenal, talking about the Gunners, they've had to go at the very last moment, almost there, but not getting it at the very last moment. So this time around, Mikel Arteta said he wants this to be an exception, and then they are really, really working. They are really, really doing their best to make sure that this time around they have all the laurels. And so we have a match tonight. What a blockbuster! As for Pep Guardiola, the tactician himself, he has the laurels. He has the experience. He has everything. So tonight is going to be it's going to be a tactical battle between a former coach and his former assistant. A coach and his former assistant. Talking about Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta, and then we look forward to a very exciting football. But if there's anything about this match, it's going to be so thrilling. It's going to be keenly contested because the 2 teams really want this. So it's going to really be a keenly contested match between these 2 teams. And when it comes to talent, the 2 teams are not lacking in talent. They are not short of talent. They've got it all. Talk about Gyökeres for Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, the battle of the midfield, Declan Rice, and Zubimendi. They've really got it all. And talk about Manchester City as well. They've got the players, they've got the quality. So we have a match. What a match we have tonight between the 2 teams. So look at the matches played by the 2 teams in the 3rd round, because the 2 teams actually joined in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. For Manchester City, they defeated Huddersfield 2-0. That was in the 3rd round of I'm talking about the way the teams got to the final of the Carabao Cup now. Yes. So in the 3rd round, Manchester City defeated Huddersfield by 2-0. Then in the 4th round, Manchester City defeated Swansea by 3-1. In the quarterfinal, Manchester City defeated Brentford by 2-0. And in the semi-final, the first leg, Manchester City defeated Chelsea 3-2. Oh, I'm talking about Manchester City, beg your pardon. Newcastle. Manchester City defeated Newcastle 2-0 in the first leg of the semi-final. And in the second leg of the semi-final, Manchester City defeated Newcastle 3-1. So Manchester City qualified 5-1 on aggregate for this one. So that was how they got to the final. For Arsenal, in the 3rd round, they defeated Port Vale 2-0. Then in the 4th round, they defeated Brighton 2-0. In the quarterfinal, they played a 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace, and the match was decided on penalty kicks. And Arsenal won 8-7 on penalties. That's talking about the quarterfinal. Then in the semi-final, Arsenal defeated Chelsea 3-2 in the first leg. In the second leg, they defeated them 1-0. So they qualified 4-2 on aggregate for the final. So Arsenal defeated Chelsea 4-2 on aggregate in the semi-final to get to the final. And then what a blockbuster match is going to be tonight. What a blockbuster match is going to be tonight. And as I was saying, the 2 teams have quality players. Look at Erling Haaland. Across all competitions this season, Erling Haaland has scored 30 goals. In the Champions League, he has scored 6 goals. And in the Premier League, he has scored 24 goals. So he has 30 goals across all competitions this season. And talking about Gyökeres as well, he has 16 goals for Arsenal across all competitions. And earlier, I was reading out the different goal scorers for Arsenal in this Carabao Cup. Eberechi Eze, Gyökeres, and the list is endless. They have different goal scorers for them. Now let's look at the Carabao Cup generally now. We have different goal scorers in the Carabao Cup. So I'm just going to go into the players who have scored different goals in this Carabao Cup. And we have Diego Gomez of Brighton is the highest goal scorer in this edition of the Carabao Cup. He has 5 goals. That's Diego Gomez of Brighton. We also have Alejandro Garnacho of Chelsea. He has 4 goals. We have Omar Mamouche of Manchester City. He has 3 goals and is Manchester City's highest goal scorer presently in this Carabao Cup. Ryan Cherki of Manchester City has 3 goals. Ben Close of Doncaster has 2 goals. Brendan Sapon-Redu of Plymouth has 2 goals. Then Cameron Burgess of Swansea has 2 goals. Joel Cowell of Cardiff City has 2 goals. Jürgen Strand Larsen of Wolves has 2 goals. Owen Osene of Plymouth has 2 goals. Oli Palmer of Wrexham has 2 goals as well. And Ryan Leonard of Millwall has 2 goals. Then Bob Street of Lincoln City has 2 goals. Stefanos Zimas of Brighton has 2 goals. And Will Swan of Bradford City has 2 goals. Then let's look at the assists. You know, without assists, those goals at times can't just stand. So let's look at the assists for the most assists in the Carabao Cup this season. The most assists goes to Tom Watson so far. Tom Watson of Brighton, he has 3 assists. And then we have Andrew Santos of Chelsea, he has 2 assists. We have Bruno Guimaraes of Newcastle, he has 2 assists. We have Diego Coppola of Brighton, he has 2 assists. Declan Rice of Arsenal has 2 assists. Emmanuel Agbadu of Wolves has 2 assists. Federico Chiesa of Liverpool has 2 assists. Harrison Armstrong of Everton has 2 assists. Harry Owell of Brighton has 2 assists. Jamie Gittins of Chelsea has 2 assists. Jefferson Lerma of Crystal Palace has 2 assists. James McLean of Wrexham also has 2 assists. And Lewis Kelly of Arsenal has 2 assists. Ryan Barnett of Wrexham also has 2 assists. And Sandro Tonali of Newcastle has 2 assists. So, you know, we have a match tonight. We have a cracker of a match. The match will start by 5:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Looking at their current form, as I was saying, Arsenal in their last match defeated Bayer Leverkusen by 2-0. Eberechi Eze and Declan Rice scoring the goals in that match, scoring the goals for Arsenal in the match in the Champions League. But for Manchester City, they lost their last match to Real Madrid by 2-1. So as a result, they will no longer, you know, this season they will no longer be able to continue in the Champions League this season. So what a match! What's your take on this match? Who do you think will win the match between the two teams? Don't forget that this is the first major trophy to be won in by any English team this season. And for us now, they are going for 4. They are going for 4 titles this season. While for Manchester City, they are going for 3. You know, they still have the FA Cup to compete in. They have the Premier League, although they are 9 points. They currently trail Arsenal by 9 points, but they have a match at hand. They still have a match at hand. And then they also have this Carabao Cup to compete in tonight. But for Arsenal, they have the Champions League. They are still very much in the Champions League to take on Sporting in the quarterfinals. Apart from that, they are going to play the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, which will be played in 2 weeks. Apart from that, they are going to and they are very, very they are on track for the title race this season. After over 20 years, they are on track. They comfortably sit on top of the Premier League table with 70 points. You know, so they are on track. And then if they win tonight, they are going to have their first major title of the season and their first major title in a long time. So, you know, Arsenal fans are really looking forward to this one. So what's your take on this match? What's your take on this match? For Manchester City, they've won the Carabao Cup 8 times. The last time they won it was in 2021, where they defeated Tottenham in the final by 1-0. So this time around, they also, you know, so it was 5 years ago they won it. 5 years ago they won it. For Arsenal, the last time they won the Carabao Cup was in 1993, where they defeated Sheffield United in the final. That was the last time they won it. And they also won it in 1987 because Arsenal have won it 2 times. In 1987 and in 1993. In 1987, they lost to Liverpool. And in 1993, beg your pardon. In 1987, they defeated Liverpool. I wanted to say they defeated Liverpool to